Before we get started, we have to go over what exactly a fraction is. A fraction is a part or a portion of a whole. In this example, they give you a square, a circle, a rectangle, and a triangle as one whole shape. The next part is that they split the shape into halves, and they have half of the square, half of the circle, triangle, and rectangle. And two halves would equal a whole, but the half is just a fraction. And then they do the same thing with a third of the shape of the square, circle, triangle, and rectangle. So they split the shapes into 3 equal parts, and those 3 equal parts put together would equal the whole part. Next, we have to go over some basics of how a fraction looks like. So in this, they give you a pizza that has 8 equal pieces. So the number of slices is 8, which would be your denominator. And they have one slice of pizza that is coming out of the pizza, which would be on the top, which would be your numerator. And we're going to use this continuously throughout the rest of the video when I talk about the numerator and the denominator. So numerator is the top and the denominator is the bottom. So going into the next step would be adding fractions. We are only going to be talking about adding fractions with like denominators, so their denominators are the same number. Unlike denominators, it's a little bit more tricky, but for this video, we're just going to stick with like denominators. So in this example, it is 1/5 plus 2/5, and the answer would be 3/5. The way we get to that is by keeping the denominator the exact same, and then you would just add the two numerators at the top. So 1 plus 2 would be 3. The next basic part of understanding fractions would just be multiplying fractions. Multiplying fractions is super simple if you know your multiplication facts backwards and forwards, because all you're going to do is multiply the two numerators together and then the two denominators. You don't need to find any like denominators or numerators or do anything special. So in this example, we have 4/9 times 3/2, so 3 halves. So what we would do is just multiply the two numerators, which would be 4 times 3 to get 12, and then 9 times 2 to get 18. So the answer would be 12/18. The last basics part of fractions are dividing fractions. Dividing fractions is probably one of the trickiest things to comprehend in this video, but this visual gives a really good understanding of how to divide fractions. So in this example, we have 3/4 divided by 1/6. Now they have keep, change, and flip. So you keep your first part of the equation just the way it is. So you keep the 3/4 as 3/4. And then what you would do is you would change your division sign to a multiplication sign. And then you're going to flip the 1/6 into 6/1. And that is called the reciprocal. And then what you do is just how we describe multiplying fractions. You multiply the numerators together and then you multiply the denominators together. So that would be 3 times 6, which is 18, and 4 times 1, which would be 4.